Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm here with Andra and we're going to talk a little bit about dating. What's on your mind, Andra?
Hi, and thank you for having me. It's been a while since I have been out there dating or meeting new people. Granted, we are recovering from a pandemic, so the last couple of years have been spent in isolation for me. And yeah, I'm starting to think about organizing dates with people I don't know, and getting back into it. Yeah, so I'd like to talk about that a bit.
Cool. I guess the first thing is what are you thinking about in terms of dating? How are you thinking about meeting people? Um, yeah, like kind of what's your goal? What does dating mean to you?
It's a bit difficult for me to wrap my head around it because I'm not a dater. So like in the past, the way I met people is at events or at parties, and they were kind of in my outer circle already.
Hmm.
But yeah, uh, I whenever I went on social media, I ended up making a lot of friends. So sorry, on social media, on and social media too. Sorry, I meant on the dating apps.
Mhm.
I ended up making friends rather than meeting people. Or yeah, I, I don't think I ever had a relationship or even like a fling with someone I met on an
Hmm.
app.
Okay.
So I don't really know where to start now because I know the apps don't work for me. And so I think I'm waiting for events and parties to open up again just so I
Hmm.
can meet people organically. But then even if that happens, I have a little bit of a there's a lot of question marks around whether I will be able to meet the right person or the right people because I feel like I'm so different from the norm.
Hmm. Okay. So I guess is it the dating apps don't work for you or they didn't work for you? Is there a possibility that you could use them differently and they could work differently this time?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, they didn't work for me in the past, but maybe I can use them differently now.
So what apps did you use?
I used OkCupid and
Okay.
Bumble.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are those two that you kind of feel more comfortable with?
I like OkCupid because you can actually write a description in your
Mm.
profile, and I
Mhm.
like to read what people have to say there. And I like their user experience too. Just the way I navigate in the app. I like that. I like the statistics that they give, and I know they feel more solid to me.
Mhm.
Bumble, I haven't had very much luck with. Like, I think I just created an account and that was it. Then
Mm.
I spent just a few minutes on it.
What did you just not enjoy the experience or what was it about Bumble that didn't work for you? Excuse me.
In part, I think it was that I felt under pressure to initiate contact.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have a problem rejecting people.
Mhm.
So in general, like on OkCupid, I would get messages and I wouldn't have a problem ignoring them or rejecting people. But on Bumble, because I'm female bodied person, then I have to make the first. I think I
Mhm.
have to talk to them first, and I have
Yeah.
20 hours to do that. And I don't think that kind of structure works for me because I always forget or I'll like, oh, okay, I'll reach out, I'll do it later, and it never happens. So I think that's part of it, that it doesn't work for me that way.
Okay. I guess in my mind, there's kind of like two different paths. There's talking about one app or the other app. And I know we said we're going to try not to make this session too long. So I'm thinking maybe we'll talk about, well, let me back up just a little bit. One of the things you brought up was that even at the point where there are more parties going on and there's more people you can meet, like it can be really challenging to meet someone who you really connect with. Um, I tend to think apps are pretty good because you can throw a pretty wide net out there and like you can really just be yourself, and the people who you're more likely, the better you are at being yourself, the more likely you are you're going to find someone else who likes the self that you are. And it's not quite as chancy as going to a party and hoping that that person over there that you feel kind of attracted to is someone that you would really connect to in some like meaningful way.
Yeah, that's a good point because I have a very specific set of needs and requirements, I guess I would call them, in terms of who I'm looking for. And the chance of success is probably the same whether I meet people in real life or organically, or if I meet them on apps. And maybe actually the rate of success would be higher on the apps because I can be very specific there from the get-go. And yeah, I can make, yeah, there's no because okay, so these parameters are more important to me than having like a special connection with someone. And I'm not worried about, I'm not worried about connecting because I know that I can connect with a lot of people. That's connection is not a problem for me, and it hasn't been historically. But I realized that I have a specific set of needs that need to be met in a partnership, and that's more important. So, but meeting someone who can meet those needs, that's more challenging. I don't think that it's probably easier on the apps.
Yeah, because I would say like with the apps, there's just like a lot higher throughput. There's, 1,000 people on the apps, whereas like when you go to a party, like maybe there's 30 people at the party. And yeah.
So I can be more strategic.
I think a lot more strategic. And so what you described before was that you'll go on the app and then you'll make friends instead of like find someone to date. Maybe we should talk a little bit about what is dating and how would you imagine dating?
Yeah,
what is romance to you?
That's a good point. And thank you for helping me get more clarity on like which avenue would be best, because I came into the session thinking that meeting people organically would be better. But now, since just talking to you, I clarified the fact that meeting my set of needs is more important. So being strategic would work better, and apps would allow me to be more strategic. So now I changed my mind completely, and I think that the apps is the way to go. So okay. So sorry, what was the
what's romance to you? What would a date look like? What would feel kind of, what does it for you?
Right. So what is dating? That's the thing. I am on the aromantic spectrum. Romance. What is romance? Romance. I don't really know how to answer. Okay. For me personally, maybe it is someone who enjoys similar things to the things that I enjoy, but really, really enjoys them, and maybe enjoying those things together. I would find that very romantic.
Okay. So what is the difference between a friend and someone you're dating? How do you differentiate the two in your mind?
I don't really. The only thing would be sexual intimacy. I have a very clear boundary around my friends. Just not, I never fool around with my friends. And I
Okay.
have a lot of friends, a lot of best friends. There's no crossover in terms of sex or romantic behaviors. Or I mean, my friends and I enjoy a lot of the same things. But see, because it's happening with them, I don't necessarily see that as romantic. I see it as compatible, like compatibility, and I get to revel in it. But just like in any friendship, there's that. But if it would happen with my partner, then maybe I would find a way to make it more romantic. Like,
So
so I guess the word romance for me is relative to who to whether the person is my partner or my friends. If I'm enjoying the same things with my partner, I would think that's romantic. If I enjoy the same things with my friends, I would think, oh, we're just good friends, So I guess, yeah, the difference. So I should say I'm also asexual, and I'm asexual, but I'm sex positive. So I enjoy sexual intimacy and touch, and I think sex is a big part of life, and it's important to me personally. But in terms of my relationships, for me, friendships are like the most important relationships aside from family. And I tend to see everyone as a friend until until there is until the dynamic becomes that we're like open to explore sexuality or sex or intimacy in that way, and then they become kind of a partner. They get defriended in a way, and like they become more.
okay, so let's talk about your. I think it's good to let's go talk about your past experiences on OkCupid. You met some people, they became your friends, and I guess what I'm hearing from you is that they kind of get up to this level, and then you kind of never wanted to cross that next boundary with them.
Yeah.
So do you think that was a mistake, or do you think that was like the circumstances the two of you were in, or do you think like given this person, do you think that was a good choice on your side and it didn't matter what those circumstances kind of were?
Yeah, I'm still friends with some people I met on OkCupid. Some of them are not, like, I could fool around with them, but I feel like we're not compatible as partners, because we're different people, like we're more friends. So yeah, no, I don't regret not taking those friendships to a partner kind of relationship status, or like not taking the next step with them. I don't regret it. I don't think it's a mistake to stop there at friends or casual friends. Would I fool around with them? Probably, but then that's actually the next level up, and then the next level would be like a partner type of relationship. Because I'm pretty I would say, if there is chemistry and there is interest and openness, and I'm pretty queer in that way, that I don't I'm open to like fooling around with people, but then to get to the partner, to the next step, that's a bit more, that's a big step, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of the people I met on OkCupid, we kind of flirted, but we never, the ones that I'm still friends with anyway, we never got to even make out or fool around.
Okay.
Sometimes I have question marks about some of them, but I know that it wouldn't develop into a partner relationship.
Okay. So how much did you try on OkCupid? Like how much effort over what long a period of time?
Oh, yeah. So my pattern is probably that I would get on there and I would spend about 3 weeks on it, scheduling dates at a very just, 3-4 dates a week or something. And then I would get burnt out and stop.
That sounds kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if what if what could you imagine that would maybe be a little more sustainable?
It would be, yeah, being more consistent over a longer period of time. So just being on the app and keeping it, but not
What if
maybe not going in turbo mode for 3 weeks and then burning out, and instead just having like a date a week and selecting people a bit more carefully and staying on the app for a year, 2 years, however long.
yeah,
So
what if
just more pace or balance.
yeah, yeah. What if your goal was to have a date once every 1 or 2 weeks?
Okay. Yeah, that could work
Does
for
that
me.
feel sustainable?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. And I imagine if you do that for a year or two, eventually during that point in time, there will probably be someone who you have some like interest in, and probably, someone who you can explore more with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. So 1 or 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's if I'm gonna meet somebody who I'm interested in. I might make a lot of friends, which is I'm fine with it too. But I'm willing to start the process and explore it to see where it goes. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't have expectation that it'll work out, even if I can apply this consistent
yeah,
approach.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying you should have that expectation, but if I guess in my mind is if you keep consistently kind of going in a direction where you can sustain the pace that you're going, there's a decent chance that something's going to kind of fall in there. And then maybe also as more time goes on, there will be other events that you'll go to and you might meet someone in one of those events as well. But to me, it sounds like that's maybe a bit more natural if you go to some event and something happens there.
It does feel a little more natural, but then, like we said, there might be a connection, and we might be able to get that out of the way really fast. So we wouldn't have to wait for it. Whereas on the app, we would have to first like check our parameters and then wait to see if there's a connection. But I feel like in real life, we would know immediately if we had the connection, and then we'd have to check our data to see if it's compatible.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is that if you find kind of a sustainable rate for the app, it doesn't stop you from also like in real life doing other stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
only in my mind if the app is unsustainable that it kind of like stops the rest of your life from going on. If you're not getting burnt out, you're not getting burnt out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I can have 2 streams of So
Yeah.
in real life and on the app, on the apps. That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Okay. And I would say the other thing that we could possibly look at is your habits using Bumble, but I don't know if that's really worth it for you. Because like using Bumble, I would say that would mean kind of putting some energy into talking to people quicker, which could be challenging, but also might be a good challenge. But also like kind of looking at that from a sustainable standpoint in terms of like maybe once a month going on Bumble for a little bit, and like every month your goal is to try to talk to one person on Bumble, start one conversation, because you can always reject this like relationship later. It's not like you have to like start dating this person because you start talking to them.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because I do want to sample the population that is like demographics that is on Bumble.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're different from the people who are hanging out on OkCupid.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
Yeah, like different. Um, they want different things too.
yeah.
And I know for sure, like I haven't been on Tinder because Tinder, where I live, is mostly a hookup app.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm asexual, I'm not really, and also at this stage in my life, I'm not really interested in hooking up casually. So, um, yeah, so that's why I haven't been on Tinder. But yeah, I might want to see what Bumble is and compare it to OkCupid. And I don't even know
Yeah.
about other ones like Plenty.
Yeah. There's Hinge I've heard really positive things about in terms of, is it there? All right, yeah. Hinge is something else I've heard really positive things about in terms of actually meeting people. So maybe that one would be kind of worth checking out as well.
Hinge, yes, I heard about it. I think that's the new thing.
I don't I've never tried it actually. I've never tried Bumble either. I haven't tried OkCupid I think since I was in college, which is a while ago. But yeah, do you feel satisfied with this conversation? Does this make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's giving me a little bit more power because we were able to put some structure in what used to be like a this kind of a disorganized use pattern for me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I felt like it was fueled by anxiety and by, okay, I need to do this. I need to go on the app and go on some dates because that's like the thing to do. And everyone's encouraging me to, so I'm just going to do it and put a lot of energy into it, and be on there for like 3 weeks and learn a lot and then kind of get burned out and not meet
Yeah.
anyone and, drop off. So
Yeah.
it was fun, but it was like an adventure type of thing that I would do. But I don't feel like I need to keep myself on the edge like that or go on that adventure anymore. I feel ready to kind of embark on a longer process that's a little more, that's more consistent and more balanced that I can actually integrate into my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that might work. We'll try. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you for the conversation. This was great.
thank you too.
All right.
All
Have a good
right.
one. Bye.
Bye.